What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Now, the term of the day that we're going to use is going to be Italian. And the reason for that is Juventus are looking at eyeing some Italian talent to bring in to reinforce this club in the summer and potentially the winter mercado. We got to talk about some of the guys that are up there on the list, as well as some of the different options. Some of them may surprise you just because they may not be that recognizable. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro, and today it is Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. And of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news you care about each and every day. Before we do anything though, do me a solid favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, stay notified for all of our latest videos. And if you haven't already, make sure you, of course, follow me on Twitter at Justin Sofro and Bianconeri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff at Bianconeri Zone. All right, let's go and get into it. What news do we have for you today? Of course, a big congratulations to open this bad boy up for Max Allegri. Who thought that I'd be saying anything like this in the last few weeks until now? But Serie A has named Massimiliano Allegri the Serie A Coach of the Month of November. And I guess you really try to be unbiased. And I'm not trying to cross, party lines right now with the Allegri in and the Allegri out crowd. But right now, he actually does deserve it for the latest performances in the Serie A. Lots of wins. Come on, Justin. A few wins here, and of course, clean sheets to wrap up the month. And of course, Juventus are staying very steadily there in the top four. Can they make a push for Napoli? Well, that's still yet to be seen. All right, let's continue on though, and let's go ahead and talk about some of the moves that Max Allegri and Juventus will be making in the winter months. Well, La Stampa is reporting that Juventus are planning to play a friendly match against Arsenal on the 17th of December, and again against Barcelona also on the 22nd of December, shortly before Christmas. The club also wants a third friendly game before the season starts to really tune things up, and hopefully will give us a good reflection of where this club stands moving forward. Obviously, you're going to still be without many of the very important key pieces of the Juventus squad. We'll see. I would imagine maybe some of them will be back, given that it's in December. I would imagine most of the people that are out of the competition, I really don't even know the deadline of when the final for the World Cup will be. So maybe I'm speaking a little bit out of my bleep, and maybe the whole team will be there. But regardless, we will see who actually returns and who will be playing with that, and how much that can really reflect on where the club stands moving into the second half of the season. All right. Adrian Rabiot had some comments that he spoke with to really talk about his standing, how things improved for him really just for Juventus as a whole, but again, as him as a player and what it looks like going forward. First up, Adrian Rabiot said, "I learned a lot with Maurizio Sarri, but these seasons with Allegri allowed me to improve so much. This year, for example, I am studying a lot of videos. Looking at our squad, I had never any doubts of fighting for the Scudetto. The beginning was not easy because of injuries. We never played at full strength, but we had the goal of returning to the top before the World Cup to challenge Napoli in January." It's interesting to say that he's really worked. He's really jived well with Max Allegri. Obviously, he came in wanting to play for Max Allegri, had Maurizio Sarri, but it's still interesting to see that he believes that it has made him much better. One of the things I'd like to see is this again Rabiot being better, or is this Rabiot just trying to earn a contract, right? And then we continue on. He goes on to say, Napoli had an incredible start to the season, but they too will lose a few points along the way, and it's up to us to take advantage of that. 10 points seem like a lot, but the season's long. The return of Chiesa and Pogba will do us good, as will the contribution of youngsters like Fagioli, Manetti, Sule, and Iling Jr. Obviously, listing off the roster, we can read the roster ourselves, but definitely will be important to have all those pieces back and working once again for the club. Goes on to say, together we can aim for the Scudetto. It's almost a pity that the break happens now because the change of mentality has been triggered, and we have created the right environment with energy and enthusiasm. Do not do this to me, my guy. Do not pivot for me right now. Do not try to pivot me and explain away maybe a poor restart for Juventus. I get it. There is truth to that. To Juve playing well right now, you don't want to stop, because then what could happen when you get out of sorts, you get out of that chemistry and that rhythm, but still, hopefully Juventus can continue on and push for the Scudetto. And then he goes on to say, do I have advice for the youngsters to carefully listen to Max Allegri, who is a great coach because he is very pedagogical. Is that the word he really used? Do we really think that's the word he used? Do we believe Adrian Rabiot? Well, obviously he wasn't speaking English, but is that the pure translation of what he said? Because that's not a normal word to use. I get it. I guess he thinks he's a great teacher. Anyway, with them, insisting in training even when they make mistakes. The results can be seen. They have all improved in these months, even in difficulty. I think really, if I'm going to go out on a limb, here. My personal opinion is that, yes, he's done some things. Yes, Max Allegri has made changes. Yes, give Max Allegri some credit. Absolutely. But I think a lot of this has to do with the players just being young, hungry, driven, young players that are ready to go out there, and I said young twice, but players that actually want to give a damn and do give a damn and go and lay it all out on the line when they do play each and every single game that they get and any opportunities that they get out there. All right, let's continue on. Then we have this part right here. Adrian Rabiot goes on to say, I feel important because Allegri is really counting on me. For the armband, there's already a hierarchy with Bonucci, Cuadrado, Danilo. Although it is not a priority, the most important thing is to take Juve to the top. They were contacts in the Premier League, but in the end, it was perhaps fortunate that I stayed. Perhaps the best decision. The club and I are in no hurry. There is serenity, and we will take time to talk. Let's say what it is. Let's say what it is. Adrian Rabiot wants his money. He wants to get paid 10, 11, whatever he can make right now. And that's what he cares about. That's the important part of him. Yeah, maybe Juventus can keep him, but I will be damned if Cherubini and Arriva Bene are paying him anywhere near a 10, 11, double figure million euro salary, right? That's insanity. All right, that's all for Adrian Rabiot. Let's move it on to the other news topics that we have here in the Mercado. What's going on? Well, let's move it on to Man City's interest. We talked about that yesterday. Alejandro mentioned that. Tuttosport is reporting that Pep Guardiola sent Manchester City scouts to watch Nicolo Ravella. The Spaniard is watching the talented player very, very closely. However, Juventus want to bring Nicolo back to the club in the summer, and I think that's probably the best move the club can do. You love to hear this. Obviously, this is great news. Great news to hear that other teams are in the wings that are interested in Nicolo Ravella, right? Obviously, this is a situation where I really hope that they don't go after the money-making scheme does Juventus, and I hope that they actually utilize a talented, younger Italian player who looked really, really good when he played for the club in the preseason, and I would really love to see him have a mainstay spot in the club moving forward. Talking about other Italian players that could have a spot moving forward for Juventus, Tuttosport's reporting saying that Andrea Cambiaso could return to Juve in January. However, Bologna spent 2 million euros already to sign him on loan and intend to keep him for the full duration of the season. So we'll see. Again, anytime they go out on loan, Juventus seems pretty keen to honor those loans and say, yeah, you can keep him till the end. If they made a move, it would surprise me even. Though hopefully Andrea Cambiaso can be a useful piece, and maybe that's a guy that they will just bring back in once the summer is upon us, and then he can be a Juventus player moving forward. Talking about other players that Juventus could be going after, though, Tuttosport is saying that Juve are ready to offer Lyon 15 million euros for right back Malo Gusto in January, which I find funny because Malo Gusto, the name, he's a French player, obviously, but at the same time, his name means bad liking. It's a bad liking. I don't know. I enjoy the name. Don't know too much on the player. He's of the players that we're going to talk about today. He's probably gotten the most playing time, and he's a young, talented French player. Could be interesting for Juventus to bring in. But again, right now we're in the Mercado setting of you're going to have a lot of names pouring into here until we really focus in and really get in on who the exact targets are, the real targets in the end. We'll leave it a little bit more open-ended for now. Next up, though, we can talk about this. Monblano made comments about Leonardo Bonucci and his status with the club, saying that Bonucci had a contract expiring in 2023 with an extension until 2024 to be exercised and has been exercised. We mistakenly thought that the natural deadline was 2024 and a renewal until 2025. That is not the case. So basically his extension, which has been exercised, he'll be here until 2024. After that, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Will Agnelli and crew decide, hey, we want to stand by Leonardo Bonucci, or are they with the fans and they're kind of saying, And in the nicest way possible, thank you for your service. Let's move on and let's focus on a guy who really is up to par for being a leader of this club and really isn't, just kind of beholden to having Chiellini hold his hand throughout this, and that's the only way that he can really succeed. Maybe it's a little harsh, but that's my personal opinion. All right, then we talk about the last couple of names that are associated with Juventus. We're talking Italian, we're talking some potential names, and we're talking about Rugani getting out of here, which is always a positive statement. Calciomercato.com is reporting that Rugani, who's playing very little, could end up in a deal with Atalanta that would bring center back Okoli in January to the club. Okoli is a 21-year-old. He only saw, I think, playing time in about 13 matches right now. So not a lot of information on him, not a lot of statistical data to back him up. But of course, obviously our guy Julian later today can give us some good information there on the status of the player. If it's a good move, you're looking at a young Italian national, well, I don't know if he's a national team player, but he is basically focused in on the Italian side, playing there, and he's playing for Atalanta right now. An interesting name to look at. And then also we have one more name that could be interesting for Juventus if they go after him, and that is another Atalanta player. Juventus have Atalanta's Giorgio Scalvini in their sights. The Bianconeri want to build an Italian core once again. At the moment, there is only strong interest and no negotiations have started as of yet. Calciomercato.com is reporting that. A couple of interesting pieces. Okoli is valued at about 10 million euros, while Scalvini is valued about 20 million euros, so about double. But also, Okoli's 21, Scalvini 19, both center backs, both playing that position. Juventus right now could definitely use another center back to really bolster their ranks. Will they go after that? Will that be the move this winter mercado? We will see. But obviously, if there's any way that maybe you can work out a deal where where Rugani heads out, I'm not going to be disappointed there. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree with any of these moves? Do you like the players that are listed today? Or are these kind of like, hey, Justin, these guys are young, nobody names that I don't really know and don't really have a lot of background information on. Why aren't we going for the bigger targets? Well, money, but also let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. The future is bright and the future is very important for Juventus, and that along with the Italian national team squad. If you haven't already, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow me at Justin Sofer on Twitter, follow Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter, Alejandro at AlejandroBZ, and of course you can follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. We will see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Say hello to your old lady for me.